Okay, then that begs the question. So we've had Holland's funeral. We have had we've called our new acting president. Now we need another member of the Quorum of the 12.
As the cold winds of winter sweep in, there's nothing like the warmth of a comforting cup to help you slow down and unwind. This is the season. Let Postum be your cozy companion. Made from roasted grains, Postum is caffeine-free and rich with a smooth roasted flavor. It's the perfect drink for those quiet, chilly mornings. Whether you're curled up with a good book, sharing a laugh with loved ones, or simply watching the snow fall outside, a cup of Postum is the moment you have been waiting for.
If you like meaningful LDS products that don't feel mass-produced, you should check out Latter Day 3D Studio. We design and 3D print magnets of many varieties, including temples and the Christus, as well as clean modern ties you can wear to church or inside the temple. Use code LDS for 15% off, available now for listeners. Everything is thoughtfully designed, printed in-house, and created to quietly reflect faith without being flashy. Head to latterday3dstudio.com and don't forget to use code LDS again at checkout to save an extra 15%. Latter Day 3D Studio, meaningful faith, thoughtfully made.
Hello, welcome to This Week in Latter-day Saints.
Well, actually, we don't have saints.
No, it's not saints. Sorry, I'm still getting used to it. This Week in Latter-days.
This Week in Latter-days.
This is the Sisters edition.
The new name, new year.
Formerly known as the Twin Sisters, now the Twild Sisters.
Yeah, I don't know if we go by Twild or we do like a little Taylor Swift play and we go T-Wild, and like T-Swift. But yeah, I mean, T-Wild just seems to flow better, but it doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the. It's Twin Sisters was kind of a wordplay on twin sister, so it doesn't have kind of the same wordplay. So, I guess for now we'll go by the Twild Sisters. But I think we need to come up with a new name for ourselves.
Maybe.
Let's work on that.
We'll have to workshop it.
To workshop that.
We are here, our first episode in January, our first episode with the new name for us at least. So here we are.
And we've got new little mics on tonight that we're testing out. For those of you on the YouTube, you can see we have these mics clipped to us rather than like the really big mic that we always use. I bought these mics because I run the Zoom for Relief Society. And so the teacher has one mic and then we pass the mic around for like anybody who makes comments. And so you may have noticed this week that we are now doing these kind of quick clip things that we are releasing on our social media accounts. We've done 2 so far. I've done both of them.
You've done them.
I've done them. They're actually really kind of fun to do. It's just about a 1 to 1 minute, 1 to 1.5 minute, just quick take on a news clip. And so when I recorded them, I used these mics and I thought, well, maybe we should try using these mics for recording a podcast episode and see how our sound is. See if it, because sometimes when we share a mic, if somebody turns away, we lose a little bit of sound and audio quality. So I thought, well, we're going to try the individual mics, just see how they work. Plus, if we really want to, we can unclip them like this, and then we can hold them and pretend like we're influencers. So fancy, because we're not influencers of a dang thing.
No. So anyways,
all right. Well, why don't you start out with our host chat tonight? Tell us what's
new year.
What's been going on? I don't think, did you and I record in December or not? I mean, we recorded the joint episode.
I feel like we did early in
Maybe
December.
It was early in December we recorded.
At some point in December, I think we did. But
okay.
It's been a bit.
It's been a hot minute.
So no, it's been good. We got Christmas was delightful. I'm finally figuring out what day of the week it is now that we're however many days into January.
That's the problem with Christmas break and taking time off is every day I'd wake up and I'd go, I don't know what day of the week it is.
Yes. Kind of crazy. But let's see. Churchy stuff in my house. I have an 11-year-old coming into Young Women. So that's exciting. I have a 7-year-old who turns 8 this year. He is the only child in our ward that will be baptized this year.
Oh, wow.
Because our ward is
shrinking.
So there's lots. That's exciting for both of my kids this year.
Big year in the Smith household in terms of children advancement.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So, well, we went from the 10:30 meeting time to the noon meeting time.
Okay.
And it does not matter. I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to 9 o'clock, 10:30, noon. The biggest issue is, I don't know about you, like I have a pretty regimented Sunday schedule in terms of I need to be in the shower at this time. I need to get this done, this done, this done, this done. I got a lot of to-dos on Sunday. And so I have time frames that I do those in, and I had them all set for 10:30 church. So I was struggling last Sunday when we had 12 o'clock church to go, okay, what do I need to do before church that I used to do after church? And what time do I need to be in the shower to be ready to leave on time for church?
Yes. I went through that too. We unfortunately have moved to 9 a.m., which was formerly my favorite church time before I had teenagers. And now it is my least favorite church time. And were we late on the first Sunday? Absolutely we were. Well, my husband wasn't, because he has to be there early to run the Zoom, which left me alone with the teenagers.
Oh gosh.
Trying to drag them out of bed. We didn't get off to a great start.
So tell me about your pain of dragging teenagers out of bed on Sunday morning.
It's just the worst. Were your kids like this when they were teenagers?
No, not really.
Like, it is a struggle. They say, don't wake me up till 8:40. And I'm like, really? You only need 5 minutes to get ready?
No.
And they're like, yeah. And then when you do, I say, I will make a deal with them. Like, it's like making a deal with the devil. I'm like, I will wake you up at 8:40 if you promise me you will be ready to go by 8:45. Like, you have to prove it to me.
Yeah.
'Twas not proven.
So what time are they getting woken up this Sunday?
Probably 8:30.
Okay.
Which still seems like a real close cutting it to me, but they seem to think they can do it.
So it sounds like, I mean, they're not interested in taking a shower on Sunday morning. They're interested in getting out of bed, throwing a dress on, putting their hair out.
My 15-year-old, like, she will probably not have makeup or hair. I don't even know if she'll have her hair combed for this whole year of church.
Oh,
and she's 15 years old. She doesn't care.
Okay, that is a bit unusual. Because let me tell you, at 15, I had full hair and makeup.
Actually, I kind of like, props to her.
You can respect.
I kind of respect it for not caring. Me at 15, I would have never.
Well, like I said, me too. I did leave the house without full hair and makeup.
So,
okay,
I respect it. I just want to get to church on time. That's all.
What about for school?
And I really want to get to church with no whining.
Oh, well, that's going to be a much harder challenge.
I know.
Much harder challenge. What about school? Will she do full hair and makeup for school?
It depends on the day. Some days she does. Some days she does. It just depends on how she feels.
Fair enough.
She swings all the ways. She just, I appreciate it. I'd say good for you.
I know. Well, clearly there are no boys in your ward she is seeking to impress.
I don't think at the moment.
Now, should a cute boy move into your ward that she wants to impress?
Possibly. I don't know.
Then maybe you get some hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And she's a dancer.
And then maybe she wouldn't whine about going to church. Okay, this is what we all need to start praying.
Okay. Okay, what are we praying for?
A cute boy.
A cute boy to move into your ward.
Between the ages of 15 and 17.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
It would really solve multiple problems.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about Fast Sunday for a moment.
Oh, okay.
So here's how I want to talk about Fast Sunday. So last year when we were on this stake activity committee that Darren and I served on for the youth, and we planned these quarterly activities, there was one Saturday we wanted to do it, and we were told, no, you can't do it that Saturday because Sunday is Fast Sunday, and you can't have an activity where you're serving food on a Saturday night.
Wait, for the youth?
For the youth.
On a Saturday night?
On a Saturday night.
Because the youth might be fasting?
Because the youth might be fasting.
What is this, 1980?
Okay.
I have not heard anyone use that logic since literally the 80s.
I know, but I'm circling back on this because I just thought it was kind of like oh, this is just like a steak thing. Our steak maybe being a little extra. So I was in presidency meeting on Tuesday night, and we have the assignment as a Relief Society to plan an adult activity for either February or March.
Okay.
So we are looking at dates on the calendar, trying to figure out, when we can do this activity.
Okay.
And so we just had all sorts of conflicts between school things for kids that parents wouldn't be able to come to because their kids are involved, or people, spring break, people being out of town, just all sorts of different things. Well, one of the really good Saturdays that this could land on was the 28th of February. We had no conflicts with the 28th of February. And our Relief Society president said, we can't do that because the bishop doesn't want us to do any activities on Saturday night because that involve food, because we don't want anybody to, we don't want to encourage anybody to not start their fast, or to not fast, or to not fast for the full amount of time, because they're going to a ward activity or
no.
sanction.
No.
Sanction.
I do believe we're not counting hours anymore.
Well,
are we?
Okay.
Isn't that a thing of the past? Like the full amount of time? Who says what the full amount of time is?
Okay. So then I had a discussion with the counselor in my bishopric.
I'm being very riled up on your behalf.
Thank you, because I was riled up. So I work with a gentleman who is the counselor in my bishopric.
Okay.
So I hauled him into my office this week, and I said,
"The office is this? Can you do this?"
Well, every once in a while,
workplace ward banter.
Workplace ward banter.
Don't tell HR.
Probably shouldn't even be saying this on the recording. Anyway, no, we usually what Ryan and I do is, a couple times a day, we'll just get some steps and get up, and we'll walk around the building, and we'll be talking about our cases that we're doing together. And inevitably there is some conversation about the ward that comes into play. So I asked him, I said, is this a church policy? Is this a state policy? Is this a cultural thing? Can you explain this to me? So Ryan said that according to the handbook says fasting for 24 hours, but it also says 2 meals.
Really?
In
the current handbook, it says both of those things.
I did not look it up. I relied on what Ryan told me, but this is what Ryan told me.
We're going to have to look this up and report back, because I feel like this is going to take some digging. I don't know if we could find it quick enough.
Anyway.
But I'm shocked, because I haven't heard people refer to 24 hours for many years.
I have not heard people refer to 24 hours for many years.
2 meals.
Now, our stake has had a renewed emphasis on fasting, which is great. I think there's obviously all sorts of both physical and spiritual benefits of fasting. But I also think how and when you start your fast, and how long you fast for, and what you define as a fast is between you and the Lord.
Absolutely. I don't even think 2 meals is really publicly, I feel like it's not even really discussed as much anymore as it used to be. It's more of
not like the 80s.
We just vaguely talk about fasting. We're not like setting down rigid guidelines anymore. That is not what we do anymore.
Exactly.
But apparently the handbook does.
Apparently it says should be 24 hours, or is encouraged to be 24 hours. So, I don't know. Look, see if you can find that real quick while I go on and talk about this for a minute. So anyway, so the thinking is that if somebody wants to start their fast at, say, 6:00 on Saturday night and do the full 24 hours, that it would be discouraging for them to come to a ward activity where there was food. Now, my thought on it is, if that's when you want to begin your fast, go to the ward activity and simply choose not to eat the food. I mean, we're not planning a dinner, we're planning snacks. And
personal choice.
People
have agency.
People have agency.
We're not here to police anybody's fasting.
No. And so,
or to set them up for success. That's their business.
Anyway, but that is the guideline that I am stuck with. So our activity is not going to be on Saturday the 28th, because food will be involved. And I don't think there's any church activity you have where food is not involved. So that eliminates one Saturday a month that you can plan any sort of activity, because you don't want to discourage people from beginning their fast on Saturday nights.
Okay. Well,
do you see anything?
Well, I'm having a tough time getting the actual handbook to pop up, but according to AI.
Okay, what does AI tell us? Let's see what AI tells us.
Google AI says that the handbook guidelines for fasting emphasize abstaining from food or drink for 2 consecutive meals, parentheses, about 24 hours.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's a direct quote or if that's AI summarizing. It does not say that like on the general church web, like gospel topics about fasting. It gives more of just a vague overview of like the blessings of fasting and what it is. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. No, it does say it here.
Okay. What does it say?
On the general website, gospel topics.
Okay.
It says in the church today, 1 Sabbath day each month is set aside for fasting. Members of the church go without food and water for 2 consecutive meals in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
And then contribute the money. That doesn't say for 24 hours. That says 2 consecutive meals in a 24-hour period. To me, that means you're not skipping breakfast, eating lunch, and then skipping dinner.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours. Right? It doesn't say 24 hours. It just says 2 consecutive meals in a 24-hour period. Right? Again, we should just take out any specifics. This should be more like for the strength of youth.
Exactly.
Let's take out the 2 meals. Let's take out any reference to 24 hours. Let's just say once a month on a Sunday we fast.
Exactly.
You decide what that is.
You know, maybe I'm going to have to do one of my quick takes that I am now doing for social media and put this out there as a question and get people to engage and say, how is your ward or stake approaching this?
Right. Like, is this are they hitting on specifics, or
is our Saturday night before fast Sunday off the table?
Yes.
For an activity that involves food.
I seriously haven't heard of this like since the 80s. And you know what else it reminds me of? It reminds me of on New Year's Eve when you can't do a New Year's Eve dance until midnight because the next day is the Sabbath.
Because the next day is the Sabbath.
So you have to end it at 11, which I don't know if that still happens. But that happened all through my high school experience. I don't know if that still happens.
I have no. Well, we wouldn't know
because we wouldn't know.
I asked you if you knew of any New Year's activities because the kids in our ward were looking for a church New Year's thing, and they just don't do them for the youth anymore. Because you didn't know of any, I didn't know of any.
I hadn't heard of any. Although I did find out later, one of my daughter's friends texted her. We were out of town, but she texted her saying, "Hey, are you going to the New Year's Eve dance?" So there was a dance somewhere, but they didn't publicize it in our stake.
It wasn't publicized in our stake either.
This friend is in a different stake, so she must have gotten the news wherever this dance was. So yeah, New Year's Eve dances for youth around here are far and few between.
It's very true.
They're hard to come by.
They are. So.
Okay.
Let's move on to some news stories.
Let's do some stories.
Although that was a fascinating conversation on fasting.
I'm fascinated with this focus and like specifics that you're getting from your stake in your ward.
Again, this is a focus that our stake presidency wants to for us to kind of level up and step it up on fasting. I'm all for that. I just don't like the rigidity of the 80s.
Yeah.
Associated with it.
Seems a little retro.
Seems a little retro.
Okay. First story today. This is pretty new news this week. The First Presidency has named a new acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles since Elder Holland passed away on December 27th. And the new acting president will be President Uchtdorf.
Which was not a surprise to anybody.
Well, kind of to me, because I forgot that he was next. So it's an acting president of the 12, because the next in line to be the president would be President Eyring. Yes. But he's in the First Presidency. So this is
he doesn't get to do both.
Yes. This is what happens when that person is in the First Presidency. They refer to it as an acting first president or acting president of the 12. And I just, as I was reading this article, did not realize how old President Uchtdorf was. B, it just, for some reason in my mind, Bednar is older than him and in line before him, but he is not. And this article reminded me.
Okay, so tell our listeners, how old is Elder Uchtdorf?
He is 85.
He is 85.
In my head, I was thinking 75.
Well, he is seemingly very, very healthy.
Yeah, he's getting around better than, like, 85 is pretty high up there.
I mean, we don't see him using a walker. We don't see him limping or anything like that. He is seemingly in very good health, which is probably why he seems like he's a bit younger than he is.
How old is Elder Bednar?
I think Elder Bednar is in his 70s. Yeah, didn't it just say he was 73?
73.
73, so he's 12 years younger than Elder Uchtdorf.
Well, they at least seem the same age.
Well, they did get called at the same time, but Elder Uchtdorf is more senior to Elder Bednar. Now, I don't know if they chose that based on age or what they chose it on, because we know the story from when Nelson and Oakes were selected, that President Kimball became lucid for a brief period of time and said, call Nelson and Oakes in that order. That was his instruction to President Hinckley.
It does seem like nothing is a coincidence. Although, wouldn't it be funny if it was just like he sat down in the chair first to get ordained?
Yeah, I don't think that's how it worked. But in any event, we are marching very, very quickly towards a potential Uchtdorf presidency, because we've got Elder Eyring and President Oakes. I should say President Eyring and President Oakes. They are both in their 90s. We know that Elder Eyring is not very mobile anymore. President Oakes is being pushed around in a wheelchair too, but he can still get up and stand and walk around. Seemingly their minds seem very sharp. There's nothing mentally that seems to be going on with them. But yeah, and not only are we moving quickly towards an Uchtdorf presidency, we are on a fast track for a Bednar presidency.
And he's young.
And he is young. We could potentially have President Bednar for many, many years.
So anyway, and then also this article was just a reminder to me that President Uchtdorf has been in for more than 2 decades.
I know.
And that makes me feel really old, because it doesn't seem like that long ago. And that's what old people say. And that is me now.
I love President Uchtdorf.
I do too.
When I was going through one of my favorite conference talks is one that I swear to you, he wrote it just for me. I was going through my divorce, had just recently separated from my husband, and he gave this talk called The Infinite Power of Hope. And he talked about hope being a 3-legged stool of faith, hope, and charity. And I listened to that talk over and over and over again, because it was the only thing that was really giving me hope during my divorce, was to listen to the promises and messages that he had in that talk. So that is why I just love President Uchtdorf. So
yeah, he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Okay, then that begs the question. So we've had Holland's funeral. We have had we've called our new acting president. Now we need another member of the Quorum of the 12.
Oh, right. So the question, will they wait till, they won't wait till conference.
I don't think they'll wait till conference, because
they're announcing temples at state conferences.
He just called. Well, they waited a couple of weeks after President Nelson died before President Oakes called Elder Kosei.
Oh, right.
So
yeah, they won't wait.
I am going to give a twild prediction right here and now that I think in the next 2 weeks we will have a new member of the Quorum of the 12.
I think you're probably right.
So then the question is, there's lots of chatter about Elder Dubé, who's in the presidency of the 70. There was lots of chatter about him when Elder Kosei was called. And so we'll see what happens. All right. So speaking of President Holland, Matt and Melissa did touch a little bit last week on President Holland, mostly talking about his passing and the things that they remembered him for. But there wasn't much said about his funeral and his internment. And I wanted to touch on that really quickly, because there were some very interesting things that we learned in his funeral that we did not know. Now, we knew that he was not in good health and had not been in good health since about April of 2023, when he took kind of this sudden turn. And what we learned is that in April of 2023, when he faced this very severe health challenge, his kidneys had failed him. And since that kidney failure in April 2023, he was having nightly dialysis treatments.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So not only was he having nightly dialysis treatments, but he suffered from leg crippling neuropathy. He had arthritic shoulders and breathing problems that required additional oxygen. So he had some pretty severe physical challenges. Now, one of the things that they talked about in his funeral, which I just so appreciated, is they said his son, Matt, was one of all three of his children spoke at his funeral. If you haven't watched his funeral, go on YouTube and watch his funeral. It is fantastic. So all three of his children spoke. They told anecdotes about him, which were just wonderful. But one of the things that his son said is he said that his father's suffering over the past 2.5 years was a reminder to all people, even prophets and apostles are not spared from the difficulties and disappointments of life. Elder Holland said, I never once heard him cry out that he felt unjustly dealt with by God. Instead, I heard him regularly thank God and admonish in trusting in God more frequently and fervently than ever before. And they called his last few months a master class of an apostle of contagious conviction. So I thought that was awesome. Also, I want to talk about his internment. So his funeral was on the 31st of December. His internment in St. George was on New Year's Day on January 1st. And so they all packed up and went down to St. George. Maybe his funeral was the 31st. Anyway, so once they arrived in St. George, they did a little tour. The hearse did a little tour of St. George before they actually got to the cemetery. They went past his childhood home. They went past the temple, and they went past the St. George Tabernacle. And apparently it was raining that day, and apparently there was nothing more that Elder Holland loved than to take a drive in the rain. And so it was very befitting that it was raining when he was taking his last trip around St. George. Now, what was really fascinating is 8 of the current 15 apostles that we had made the pilgrimage to St. George. So there was President Oakes, President Eyring, President Christofferson, and then you had Elder Uchtdorf, Quinton L. Cook, Elder Anderson, Gary Stevenson, and Elder Patrick Curran. So, and their wives. Anybody who had a wife, their wife accompanied them. So I got to thinking about this. I mean, given the fact that Elder Eyring is in a wheelchair and so is Elder Oakes a lot of the time, I kind of doubt they hopped in the big Suburban and drove down. They don't talk about this, but I'm sure that the church has to have a private plane. If they don't, they used to fly.
They use some Marriott's plane or
something.
Well,
they used to fly Huntsman's plane around all the time. I don't know if they're still flying the Huntsman plane. Gary Stevenson, his company, I think they went public, so he probably can't use Stevenson's. I'm sure Stevenson's company had a plane. Anyway, I'm sure they had a private plane that they fly around because it just wouldn't make sense for them to, especially Elder Oakes and Elder Eyring to travel commercially.
That's a quick turnaround.
I know a lot of other apostles travel commercially. I've known people who've ran into them even as recently as a year ago in the airport. Anyway, so do they just say, hey, anybody who wants to go to St. George, plane's leaving at 7 a.m., Salt Lake Airport, be there or be square?
Probably.
Anyway, I just thought it was so wonderful that around the hall, and I'm sure the ones that didn't come, they probably had other commitments. This was around the holidays. Lots of people have family things going on. But just the fact that 8 of them made the pilgrimage to St. George to honor Elder Holland, I thought that was just fantastic. All right, next one. This is breaking news today. We have changes to the iconic Temple Square mission. So, as you know, there is one mission in the church that is comprised entirely of sister missionaries, and that is the Temple Square mission. No elders allowed, only sisters. And so sisters who get this call to, for 18 months to go serve at Temple Square. And if you've gone to Temple Square, they have their little missionary name tag on, and then they have the country where they're from. And they literally call missionaries from all over the world. It's not just American missionaries, because they have people that come to Temple Square from all over the world. Mm-hmm. And so they want missionaries, who can speak that language. So it has been this way since 1995. So 30 years they've had this Temple Square mission.
I would propose that this mission has more lore than any of the other missions. So you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Like the most rumors, the most talks about things that I heard in the 90s about this mission. They give the sisters gym memberships. Other things I heard in the 90s about this mission, the sisters have weigh-ins. Is this true? Probably not. Well, possibly. Hopefully not. But
things that you heard in the 90s.
The lore around this mission is real. So it's kind of iconic. It's going away. I'm like, what are we going to speculate about now?
I know. So here's what they're doing. It's not that they're not going to have missionaries on Temple Square. The way that they are going to do it is they are going to, the current missionaries who are there are also going to be assigned to serve in local Utah missions. So there's currently 13 missions in Utah and 5 proselytizing missions in Salt Lake City where Temple Square is located. So they're going to reassign these sisters to these proselyting missions. But what they're going to do is they're going to rotate them in and out of Temple Square. So they may go serve a couple of months at Temple Square and then they go back to their proselyting mission.
Which one of the rumors I did hear about this mission in the past, that was even if you got called to this mission, mm-hmm. you would get to do 6 months somewhere offsite.
I haven't heard that.
I don't know if that was true, but I had heard that.
That's a false
Well,
rumor.
I don't know, because we had a cousin, because one of the other missions they're doing this with is the Mormon Battalion mission.
Yes.
We have a cousin whose daughter served at the Mormon Battalion mission.
Yes.
And she went off site for, I don't know if it was 6 months, but she had a section of her mission where they sent her off.
Well, and the reason they're making this change is because they do that at all the other church sites. Mm-hmm. They have never done it here.
At Temple Square?
At Temple Square.
I swear they ship
No.
Someone needs, Kurt probably knows this.
They have never done that at Temple Square.
Kurt needs to tell us.
No. They have never done this at Temple Square. They have done it in other missions. There's a young lady from my ward right now who is serving in the Nauvoo mission. And she spends 6 months in Nauvoo. And then when, Nauvoo is shut down for the season, she goes out and does a regular proselytizing mission mm-hmm. in a different area. So no.
But they're changing this with the other ones too, because we have a friend that just got called to the Mormon Battalion and it's reversed. You used to serve there your whole year and a half, and then you would do a tiny stint away. Uh-huh. Now she's serving there first for 6 months, and then she's going to like West Virginia.
Yeah. That's
for the majority of her mission.
And that's what Haley in my ward is doing too. Although I think she gets 2 stints in Nauvoo. Uh-huh. So she left about a year ago, and I think she may have been out in the mission field and then went to Nauvoo for the summer. And I think she gets to go back for a few months to Nauvoo in the summer. Anyway, major change. And a couple of reasons for this is there are peaks and flows of visitors at Temple Square. And so what they are going to be able to do is bring more missionaries in during a high volume time and pull those missionaries back to go proselytize during a low volume time. So they'll be able to control their flow better, which I think is great. The other thing that they are going to do, this is very interesting, they are going to hire a limited number of returned missionaries as part-time guides to work with the sister missionaries in enhancing the guest experience.
I thought that was interesting too. Like a paid job. This is like your college job?
Yeah, this would be like your college job. Like working at the MTC.
Yeah.
Only you're on Temple Square.
Interesting.
I don't know. I thought if I ever wanted to serve a mission, which I never really did, I would want to go to Temple Square. That sounds like a sweet gig. All right.
Well, according to all those rumors, it was. There were also rumors about like where they lived and like the fancy apartments that they got to live in. I don't know.
We don't know if that's true. Okay. Also today, in addition to discussing this change to the Temple Square mission, there were new mission presidents that were announced. Now, if you recall, there are 55 new missions starting in July of next year, which was announced last year before they announced the mission change. And I'm sure that they created those 55 new missions because I'm sure they knew we're going to have a whole influx of new sister missionaries.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
So I always like to look through the new mission leader assignments because I like to see who I know. I know two
out of this batch.
Okay. So the first one that I know is, and you may recognize this name, Brett and Marcy Keller.
Oh yeah. That's like our dentist kid, right?
Yes. So Brett Keller, I went to high school with Brett Keller.
Is he the oldest?
No, Kim, his brother, is the oldest.
Oh, okay.
Kim is 2 years older. Brett is my age. Brett has been the CEO of Priceline for a number of years.
Oh.
So presumably he's retired from Priceline now. Marcy went to our high school as well. Marcy was a year younger. So they met in high school.
Too.
I know his wife. His father was my stake president growing up, and our father served as a counselor to President Keller, and he was a dentist over in Nampa. So anyway, I was kind of excited when I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is so weird that somebody I went to high school with is a mission president.
Yeah.
So
getting old.
He is going to Japan, Tokyo North.
Okay.
He did serve his mission in Japan in the 80s. It is my high school class reunion this next summer. I'm thinking he's not going to be there.
He's going to be a no-show.
He's going to be a no-show. His RSVP will be, can't make it. Sorry.
He's got better things to do.
Yeah, got better things to do. Anyway, so that was exciting. Second one I saw. Do you remember the mission president? Last year in August, he was assigned to Mexico City, and in the middle of the night, an intruder came into his house and shot him.
That story was scary.
That story was scary. So Tyler Wallace was that mission president. His wife is Elizabeth. We know Tyler because Tyler's mother, Linda, was one of our mother's college roommates, and Tyler is my age. Again, I grew up playing with Tyler. And so anyway, so he was shot. He spent some time in the hospital. He was released from the hospital. He returned to the mission because I saw some pictures online posted by Linda. He had a daughter that got married. And so she came down to Mexico City and got married in Mexico City because they obviously couldn't leave the mission. Anyway, and so I just presumed he was continuing to serve in Mexico. What was released today is he has now been assigned, effective July of next year, to the Carlsbad, California mission. And this is a new mission that has been created. So I don't know if he asked to leave Mexico, if they thought, out of an abundance of caution, we're going to send you out of Mexico, or if they just said, we think you fit really well in Carlsbad. Thanks for your time in Mexico. We're sending you to California.
Yeah, interesting.
So I sent a couple text messages out today because inquiring minds wanted to know. And the friend of our mother's that I texted today said, I'm having lunch with Linda on Tuesday. I'll get back to you.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so new mission presidents.
Okay. All right. Next story is a sad one.
Oh.
There was a shooting at an LDS church in Salt Lake City this week. It took place outside of the building during a funeral. It appeared two people died, and there were several more that were injured and had to be taken to the hospital. But it appears it's nothing like nothing targeted against religion. It appears to be like a family dispute. Initially, I was seeing online that it was maybe a gang thing, but this news article just called it like a family dispute. So sad. So it happened in the parking lot while there was a service going inside a funeral service with about 200 people. And the two men who were killed, I'm probably going to butcher their names.
Oh, yeah, their Tongan names.
Yes. This was like a ward that hosts, or a building that hosts several Tongan wards, Polynesian wards, Sion Vatuve and Vea Taliki Haifo. I don't know if I said that right.
Whatever you did, you did way better than what I would have done.
Those were the two victims. It's incredibly sad. There was another article written up, I believe by Deseret News, on the second victim,
It actually was a Salt Lake Tribune article.
Oh, this was a Tribune
It was
article.
a Tribune article.
Oh, okay. So they did a write-up on the second victim that I just mentioned, and he was 46 years old. He was a dad to 12 kids.
And he lost his first wife in a car accident.
Yes,
he had
tragic.
2 kids with her, and then he remarried the second wife, and they had 10 kids.
And he totally accidentally got caught up in this. It said he was inside for the service with his wife and his 5-month-old baby, and she asked him to go out to the car to get formula because the baby was getting hungry. So he was like just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's so tragic.
Very sad.
Anyways, and then the other man that was killed also was a father. The article didn't give very many details on him. It just said he had a rough life, but he was moving in a great direction, and that he had a wife and a daughter. So so sad. And they're still trying to find the suspect.
They cannot find the suspects. I heard people aren't talking.
Oh,
that they, because all of these people knew each other, they don't want to give up the information. So I've heard that the police are struggling to get details in order to further investigate this. So
okay. Oh, that's sad.
All right. Well, staying on a sad note, we had a missionary who passed away this week. So there was a young man. He was 21 years old. His name was Caleb Gene Martin. He was from Salem, Utah. He was serving in Farmington, New Mexico, and he died in his sleep. He had no known medical issues. He just happened to pass away in his sleep. And so his parents said some really wonderful things about him, that he lived with a smile on his face and a light of his eyes. His favorite thing in life was to help lift others and see them smile as well. He loved serving in New Mexico. And then the other thing his parents said is they said, our family has been truly touched and humbled by the outpouring of support and love from people all over the world. What an amazing experience to see how connected we really are. It's quite a contrast to what seems to be such a common theme of divisiveness and strife we see so often. So,
that's bad.
I thought that was a really nice statement from his parents, who have to just be struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard.
That's a tough
I can't even imagine losing a child.
Yeah, and to have no answers.
Exactly.
That's awful.
Exactly. They did say that an autopsy is planned to see if they can determine a cause of death. But sometimes in those situations, I've had people that have died in their sleep, and they perform the autopsy and they cannot find any cause of death other than the Lord made a decision that your time on earth was finished.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's see. Okay. On a lighter note.
Oh yes, we're going to switch from our sadness to much lighter material.
BYU has a new treat, and BYU is famous for its treats. Let's mention a few. Cougar Tails, those giant maple bars that they serve at the football games,
and they're not always maple bars. Sometimes how they do the different flavors.
Sometimes they do a theme,
but the OG is maple.
Mint brownies.
Oh yes,
that's one that the Cougar Tails were after my time at BYU, so I've never actually had a Cougar Tail.
Neither have I.
Graham Canyon ice cream.
Oh,
classic.
The best ice cream they make.
And their chocolate milk. These are a few of their famous treats. Well, they have a new one, and I really, really want to try it.
Oh, I know, it sounds fantastic.
It's called the Cougar Paw, and it is an ice cream it's chocolate dipped ice cream on a stick. That looks like the Mickey Mouse version that you see at Disneyland. And that is actually what they copied. They were like, we want that, but the Cougar version. And it looks like a cougar paw, and it's adorable.
It really is cute.
And
I think they're selling it at basketball games.
It says they debuted it at a basketball game like in December. So I don't know if this is going to be only at basketball games, or if they will start to sell these in the creamery. I hope they'll start to sell them in the creamery.
Because I don't think you can get a cougar tail other than, I think you can only get a cougar tail at a football game.
So we'll see if these are widely distributed or not. But there was a fun write-up, the article about the pastry chef at BYU that came up with this concoction and the years it took her to get it right.
Because as we know from their BYU 150 ice cream, you were with me when we did the story on the 150 ice cream. Like, they had many trial and errors until they got the 150 right.
they're going to do a treat. They're going to do it right.
Exactly.
So I guarantee this is going to be good. It has Lavelle's vanilla BYU Creamery ice cream.
Okay.
And they make these in-house by hand. And
they have molds, don't they?
Yes, they had somebody create special molds for it. And it's a 2-day process. Day 1, they make the ice cream in the ice cream maker, pour it in the molds, freeze it. Day 2, they take it out, dip it, wrap it. And it said that as of October, they were able to produce 500 Cougar Paws a day, and they were planning to buy more molds. This is somebody's on-campus job.
That's exactly right.
And a fun one. Okay. I would think. Well, they probably don't think it's fun after doing 500, but
I want to know, how much does one of these Cougar Paws sell for?
I don't know.
I don't even know how much a cougar tail sells for.
I don't either. And I don't even know how much one of those Mickey heads sells for at Disneyland.
Let's just Google cougar tail and let's see how much a cougar tail sells for.
How much is a cougar tail? I'm sure those Mickey Mouse ice creams at Disneyland are at least $10.
Oh yeah.
So there's no way they're charging that much.
No.
This isn't Disneyland, right?
Now if I could just type.
But it probably tastes better than the Disneyland ones.
Oh, for sure.
Some homemade stuff right there. So yeah, next time I'm passing through Provo, I'm going to have to head over to the creamery and see if they have these by then. I don't know when the next time I'll be passing through Provo is. I don't go through very, very often.
Okay, but let's see what they tell me. Oh, cougar tails are $5 to $7 each game.
Oh, well then I'm sure these will be at least $5 to $7.
Well then let's see. Let's see what a Cougar Paw sells for.
Oh, let's see if it has it. Don't let us down, AI. No, they don't have that information yet.
They don't have that information yet.
It's too new.
Bummer.
Okay. So speaking of the creamery, you now also have an article about the BYU Creamery.
So as many of you may or may not know, the Creamery on 9th sat right there on the corner, right across from the J. Reuben Clark Law School. And it was a grocery store plus the creamery. When I was at BYU, that is not where the creamery was. It was over by Deseret Towers.
Same. When I was at BYU, it was a grocery store.
And this was just a grocery store.
Iconic grocery store.
Yes. Everybody from Heritage Halls went to
all of its customers were BYU students.
Exactly.
At Heritage Halls.
So apparently in 1999, the gentleman who owned the property passed away and his widow donated it to BYU.
That was while I was there.
Okay.
And it was tragic. The students were freaking out because they closed it.
Okay.
And renovated it and turned it into the creamery. But
they did sell a few groceries at there though, because they said it was the only on-campus grocery store in America.
Oh.
Well, they outgrew that. So they built a new creamery on 9th. Now, I don't exactly know where the new creamery on 9th is.
The article didn't say where it is.
But it must be pretty close to where the old creamery is, because their plans for the old creamery are to bring in the wrecking ball and knock it down.
And make parking.
And make it a parking lot.
For the creamery.
For the new creamery.
Is it across the street in the law school parking lot?
Well...
Where is it?
Because the only other place is if it was across the street on the other side, there was a convenience store there. But there were houses by that, so I don't think that would be big enough for a new creamery. Maybe they took part of I haven't been to BYU in forever. Maybe they took part of the law school parking lot and made a new creamery and told the law school students, ride the bus. I don't know.
Parking schmarking.
Yeah, you didn't need no parking.
I mean... Yeah.
So anyway, wherever the new creamery is, which apparently is a very big and spacious building these days, wherever the new creamery is, it is close enough that the old creamery will now serve as parking.
It's done.
The new creamery.
Gonzo.
Yeah.
I'll get myself to Provo soon.
I know.
One of these days.
Okay, where are we at now?
Oh, we've got sports.
We've got to talk BYU football. First of all, did you watch the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
No, you know what? My husband had it on, and I can't remember what I was doing that day, but I was in and out, and whenever I was in, it was not looking good. Really, that was like the first half of the game, and so I was not super paying attention.
Okay,
and then they pulled it off, and by that time I was out, And so I missed them eating the Pop-Tart. Did you watch it?
Well, I did the same thing. I watched the first half and then they went like downhill very rapidly. And then my husband needed a haircut. And so we were at the haircut place. He was getting a haircut and a beard trim. So this was going to take like 45 minutes. And so I was sitting out in the front area, searching social media, following the game on social media. And that's when they picked it up and turned it around and saved themselves. And I did get to see the Pop-Tarts go in and come out.
And you got to see them eat the Pop-Tart?
And Kalani Sataki eating the Pop-Tart, Bear, the quarterback, eating the Pop-Tart. And then I saw all sorts of Pop-Tart antics that they had all throughout the game in video clips. I don't think there's got to be a bowl game that has more fun than the Pop-Tart Bowl.
That's some good branding right there.
These Pop-Tarts are just out of control in what they do, and it was really
well,
kind of funny.
Even the field had like sprinkles.
Yeah, the field had Pop-Tart sprinkles.
Like the perimeter of the sideline had sprinkles painted on. I was like, this is so fun.
So yeah, I thought the Pop-Tart Bowl was great. Anyway, so we won our Pop-Tart Bowl. And now, and so a couple of things have happened since then.
Like the next day.
So Kyle Whittingham, who has been a member of the church, been the University of Utah football coach for like 20 years. He's been there for an epically long time. He had previously announced that he was retiring. And then when the whole Michigan coach debacle happened, Michigan decided to reach out to Whittingham and see, hey, would you consider coaching for Michigan? And he said, yeah, I still got some more gas in my tank. So he agrees to coach for Michigan. I'm sure the Ute fans have to not be happy because he pilfered some really key staff assignments from Utah that he's taking to Michigan. But he also pilfered two really good people from BYU. Mm-hmm. He pilfered Jay Hill, who is the defensive coordinator.
Did you know he's married to a girl from Nampa?
Shut up. Yeah. Who's he married to? Do I know her?
Yeah. Do you know the Kerns?
He's married to their daughter?
Yes, she was a year ahead of me in high school.
Is it Josie?
No, Sarah.
Sarah.
She's younger. So.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah. Well, good for Sarah. Mm-hmm. Look at all the people we know tonight. Yeah. All from Nampa. Anyway, so he has been the defensive coordinator at BYU. And apparently when he arrived, the Cougars had one of the worst defenses in the country. But this past season, they flipped it around and they only allowed just 19.4 points per game. So Whittingham pilfered him. Whittingham also pilfered a cornerback coach, Geronimo Guilford, who has been at BYU. I think those are the only two BYU people that Whittingham picked off. So we're probably not as upset as the Utah people are.
But that is a bummer after a really good football year.
It is. Mm-hmm. But Kalani Sataki has moved other assistant coaches up and giving them an opportunity to shine. And hopefully a lot of them learned under the tutelage of Jay Hill, and they can take what they've learned and bring their own brand to it. Yep. So
we'll see.
And then we have to talk about the transfer portal. So we have talked about Ryder Lyons. He is a senior, or actually just graduated, because I think he just got his mission call, graduated early. He's a quarterback out of California. He's committed to BYU. He's doing the kind of the 1-year mission thing.
Yes, he's the one that's going on the 1-year mission.
And he's starting in 2027. Mm-hmm. He has a brother, Walker Lyons, who has been a receiver for USC. Well, I noticed at the beginning of December, after USC finished their normal schedule, Walker Lyons said, I'm putting in on the transfer portal. He didn't go to their bowl games. As soon as I saw that Walker Lyons put in the transfer portal, I thought, he's going to BYU. He's going to go join his brother at BYU. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, it just broke today that he is going to BYU. He will be there for 1 year. Oh, well, he has 2 eligible seasons left. The first year that he is there, Ryder, his brother, will not be there. But when Ryder returns from his mission, he and Walker will get to play together. So,
it's always fun to have brothers on the team.
It is always fun. And a fun note, Walker Lyons dates Riley Arnold from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that's the one that dates.
That's the one that dates Riley Arnold.
Okay.
And
coming together.
Yes, and Riley has a house in the Provo area too. So Riley's parents live in Provo. Anyway, so yes.
Okay. All right.
Always fun. So, okay. I am just going to do a quick shout out on this one before we get to Mormons behaving badly, because I have been waiting for this story. I knew that this was going to happen. 2 years ago, well, it'll be 2 years ago this April, BYU snagged Kevin Young from the NBA to be their head basketball coach. Just this year, University of Utah snagged Alex Jensen from the NBA to be their head basketball coach. And I thought to myself, there is no way that Alex Jensen and Kevin Young don't know each other, because they are both they both were members of the church and assistant coaches in the NBA. Well, sure enough, the Deseret News had an article that came out today that said, of course, they both know each other. And they really got to know each other when they were very young coaches in the NBA G League, and that they have been really good friends ever since. So they are going to face off tomorrow, Saturday, for the first time as head coaches of their respective collegiate programs. This will be a game that will be held up in Salt Lake City. It's not a home game for BYU. Anyway.
Okay, this is fun.
And Kevin Young has said basketball is a very small world, particularly in the NBA. I go pretty far back with Alex. I've got a lot of respect for him and his coaching career. This article didn't interview Alex, but I'm sure that the feeling is mutual, that these coaches have probably been good friends for a very long time. And Kevin Young says, I never could have imagined, he said, once you're in the NBA, you usually stay in the NBA, that Alex and I would both be coaching teams back in Utah. And the reason that this has changed, that once you stay in the NBA, that their coaches are no longer staying in the NBA, is name, image, likeness. The NIL money has changed collegiate athletics to be a lot more like professional athletes. And Kevin Young likens the colleges now to kind of like the NBA's G League.
Interesting.
Thought it was very interesting. All right.
Okay.
We don't have any Mormons in the media this week, but what we do have is we've got not one, not two, but 3 stories of Mormons behaving badly.
This is unfortunate. They've been making up for lost time because December was fairly calm.
Well, last year was fairly calm. In the first week of the year, we have 3 of them. Come on, people, get it together.
Well, we do know that they come in spurts.
They do. Okay, tell us about our first one.
First one is out of Rexburg. Rexburg LDS churches are boosting security after reports of men entering buildings for sexual acts. This is so gross.
This is gross. And filming themselves in those buildings.
So apparently there are reports that this has been happening in meeting houses around Rexburg. They've also alerted Idaho Falls. There have been reports that they are coming into the building, lewd sexual acts, sometimes recording, sometimes not, sometimes alone, sometimes with other people in classrooms where like youth or adults, anybody could happen upon them. This is really gross.
It's troubling.
So be on high alert if you live in Rexburg or Idaho Falls. They are taking particular cautions about locking up the buildings at night. If you're on the lockup committee, you are getting nailed right now. You better lock up that building every night.
I think they're going to install some cameras in some of the buildings.
It said in some cases they're going to put cameras in the lobbies.
Did you have cameras in your lobby?
We had a camera in our lobby during COVID because people were going to COVID to play basketball and you weren't supposed to be. And so they put just like a whatever home security camera in there. And I remember walking and being like, oh, it's no longer there, but it lived there for at least 2 years.
Okay. So. All right. So our next Mormon behaving badly. This was a young woman. She just had to get to church on time. So this happened, I think it was posted January 5th, so probably the Sunday beforehand. So a 22-year-old woman, she is driving, I am guessing from St. George, because she's going through Millard County and the Fillmore area, and she is traveling at a very high rate of speed. So the highway patrolman catches up to her. He clocks her when he catches up to her going 112 miles per hour. He pulls her over and asks her, why are you going so fast? What was she doing? Because not only was she in the car, she had 4 family members in the car with her. And she said, well, I'm trying to make it back home in time for church. So the trooper said, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And she said, "Yes, I was going 110 miles an hour." So here's what blows my mind. Does he give her a ticket? No.
What? He didn't give her a ticket?
He did not give her a ticket. He arrests her.
Oh, he arrested
and he
her. I didn't read
booked
the
her
article
in
carefully.
to the Millard County Jail for reckless driving and 4 counts of reckless endangerment.
That's funny. I appreciate it. I think I go for it. Go big or go home. Also, I don't believe it. She is not rushing home to get to church. She is telling him that because she thinks he'll go easy on her because, like, oh, maybe he's Mormon too. That's my theory. So double whammy. Yes. That makes it worse. I don't think that's true.
Well, I don't know.
That's a bunch of baloney.
It was 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Why else would you be up and traveling 110 miles an hour on a Sunday morning if you weren't trying to get back to church on time? Maybe there was like a mission farewell or something.
Oh, maybe it was a mission farewell. But I'm like, I don't know. That's a good point. Like, why would you be driving that fast on a Sunday morning? But I just don't think realistically a 22-year-old girl is driving that fast to get to church on a Sunday morning.
Well, like I said, maybe her boyfriend's leaving on a mission.
I think you're right. I think you've cracked the case. That is the only possible scenario.
Okay.
It was a mission farewell for somebody very important in her life. We've put the story together.
Exactly. Because I think normally you'd be like, hey, we can skip. So I think that there was probably some big event happening like a mission farewell. I'm also suspecting she did not make it on time. Oh, no. So hopefully they were Zooming the mission farewell. She could catch it via Zoom.
And her parents are probably real mad. Who had to go get her out of jail?
I know. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I just cannot believe he arrested her. Like, seriously, give her a ticket and send her on her way. Arresting her seems, when there's no accident or anything involved, arresting her seems pretty harsh because if you give her a reckless driving ticket, and I don't know, I mean, in Idaho, reckless driving it can be an arrestable offense, but generally speaking, unless you've created some sort of an accident or something, you're just going to get a ticket and told to show up in court.
I'm telling you, it was the church excuse. It put him over the edge. He's a cop in Utah. He probably gets that excuse all day on Sunday.
Okay.
Every Sunday. He probably just hit his breaking point and was like, no, not one more. Right?
You're probably right about that. I just thought the penalty was really harsh. I'm like, oh, guess you know what? Did plan that on Sunday morning. And was she dressed in her church clothes?
Oh,
we don't know because they didn't release her name, so we can't go see the booking photo.
We need the mugshot.
I know. In fact, I think in Utah they no longer do a public release of the mugshots like they do here in Idaho. I think their law changed that. All right, here's our last Mormon behaving badly.
This one's a doozy.
Ugh. So we have a sister. Her name is Hallie Lunt. She is 44 years old. And according to the Facebook comments, up until last Sunday, she was the primary president in her ward. Whether or not that's true, I am just reporting on what I read on Facebook. So she was arrested and booked into jail and later released with conditions. And she was arrested and booked into jail for allegedly kissing a 17-year-old boy on multiple occasions. So,
and she worked at a school.
She worked at a school. She was an administrative assistant at a school, at a middle school. This boy was not a student at the middle school. This was not associated with anything that occurred on school grounds. But apparently, according to the affidavit, the arrest affidavit, she kissed him multiple times. And they brought him in for an interview. And he said, yes, she kissed me multiple times. And there were witnesses to this. And the witnesses spoke with law enforcement and corroborated the 17-year-old's account. So then they bring her in to question her. Now, first mistake she makes. If you ever get called in to be questioned by the police, you exercise your Fourth Amendment right to remain silent. And you say, I do not wish to speak with you. I would like a lawyer. I will talk to you once my lawyer is here. We're not talking. I want a lawyer. She did not do that. And she admitted that she had kissed him, and she told the police she used tongue when she kissed him.
Ew.
Now,
Not okay.
apparently kissing a minor is a misdemeanor in Utah. So she's charged with a misdemeanor.
That's all?
That's all.
Shouldn't it be more than a misdemeanor?
It's a Class A misdemeanor to kiss somebody who is under the age of 18.
What is it here? Samesies or different?
They describe it as that unlawful kissing of a minor.
Because wouldn't you have to register as a sex offender?
Well, there's certain laws that require you to register as a sex offender, and those are at least in Idaho, those are delineated by code. I am unaware of any particular law in Idaho that says you can't kiss a minor. In Idaho, there's lewd and lascivious conduct with a minor. And so if you are engaging in conduct that is designed to arouse passions.
Well, throw that in. That's the same thing.
That would be a felony in Idaho. So maybe it's a good thing she kissed him in Utah, not in Idaho.
Holy moly. Utah needs to throw that in the category with lewd and that's, I don't know.
That's just what I know. So, okay.
I mean, the girl with the speeding ticket might have to do more jail time than her.
It's very true.
That's not right. Come on, Utah, get it together.
So, Mormons, we're going to ask that you not behave badly. We'd like to keep this. We'd like to not have 3 stories every time we record. See if you can get it together in January.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Well, I think that brings us nearly to the end of our first show. We have to get to favorite things.
Oh, yes.
So,
okay,
you start with your favorite thing, and then I'll start with mine.
Okay.
Or I'll end with mine.
Okay, my favorite thing. I almost hesitate to mention it because it's highly pushed by the influencers, and sometimes
be careful.
Oh, my mic.
Your mic.
Yeah. My mic. Sometimes when you try something highly pushed by the influencers, you don't know if it's going to be good, and then sometimes it is good, and then you're like, I don't know if I'm happy about this or sad about it. It's the Minkies. My family has gone the way of the Minky Couture blanket.
So you never had a Minky up until this year?
Actually, I had one. I got one, my very first one last year after Christmas on a clearance sale.
Did you think it was all that in a bag of chips?
I really liked it.
Okay.
But the thing was my children were constantly fighting over this blanket.
So you never got to use your Minky because your children stole it from you.
This year for Christmas, I waited till you gotta wait till they go on sale.
Oh,
those things are ding dang expensive.
Yeah, you don't want to buy them if they're not on sale.
Do not buy them if they are less than 50% off.
I have heard that. In fact, it was your brother-in-law Matt who gave me that advice.
Yes. So I waited till they went on sale, and every kid got one for Christmas. And I will tell you, this is the highlight of their Christmas.
Really?
These kids are obsessed with these Minkies. And they all have their own now, and nobody's fighting. So
okay, so did you get patterned Minkies for them or plain Minkies for them? How did you pick which Minky for each kid?
Well, I got the Hug is the style, and it's the stretchy one. So it stretches. So
I had no idea there was a stretchy one.
Travel size, but you can stretch it around you. And some of them got checkered patterns, and some of them got plain. I picked out what I thought was appropriate for every kid, based on their favorite colors.
And no one complained.
Nobody complained. They were all happy.
Oh, well, that is fantastic.
So my favorite thing is the Minky Couture. And no, they do not sponsor us. We are not influencers,
and so Minky
Couture won me over.
Lives up to the influencer hype that we see all the time.
I guess I have to admit it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I do not have a Minky Couture blanket. My 18-year-old daughter has one, but I do not have one. And she keeps telling me I need one. And I'm like, I'm not buying an overpriced blanket.
She's going to take you to the dark side. That's how it starts. One family member gets one, and then they all go.
Okay. All right. Well, here is my favorite thing. So my favorite thing is a documentary. It's 6 parts. And I think you've watched all of it, probably. The Taylor Swift documentary.
I should have picked this. This is my favorite thing too. More than the Minky.
Okay. Well, maybe if we do a quick take that goes up on the Facebook pages, we can talk about the Taylor Swift documentary.
Yeah, we can't talk about the Minkies because they're not sponsoring.
Okay, so you started watching the Taylor Swift documentary. My 18-year-old daughter started watching the Taylor Swift documentary. And for those of you who don't know, so Taylor Swift had her Eras tour. She had a concert movie of her Eras tour, but all throughout the Eras tour, she had a documentary film crew following her around, which we had no idea. And so they put together this 6-part documentary that tells you all about the behind the scenes stuff of the Eras Tour. And so between you and Katie, you both said, oh my gosh, Mom, this is so good. You have to watch it. So I had to put together a whole bunch of little lip gloss keychains because we are doing those as our Relief Society birthday gift this year for our sisters. And so I sat down and put these together while I plowed through 4 episodes of the Taylor Swift documentary.
Isn't it so good?
It was.
Did you cry?
So good. Nearly. You want to know what my favorite episode was?
What? The one about her grandma?
The one about her grandma.
That's the one that made me cry. That's why I was like, did you cry? The grandma episode.
She looks like her grandma too. I thought she looked like her grandma. So her grandma was an opera singer and her grandma was a performer. Her mom, Andrea, is not, but her mom grew up with this woman that was her mother so she was very well equipped to deal with Taylor. Anyway, and Taylor and her grandmother just had such a special relationship. Anyway, the whole documentary was fascinating. Here was my other take of the documentary. So there has been a lot of chatter about how much money this tour made and how much money Taylor Swift has. When you watch what she had to do to prepare for this tour and the time and the effort and the care that she put into preparing for this tour, I was like, I do not begrudge her one single dime that she made from this tour. Because they talk, so her set list is 3.5 hours, which is like mind blowing. That in order to condition for her to be able to sing and not be out of breath and dance all at the same time, she ran on the treadmill singing her songs to get her cardio into condition for that.
Yeah.
In addition to like all sorts of strength training and stuff, I was like, girl, mad props to you. So it's on Disney Plus. I highly recommend it.
It's really good.
All right.
Okay.
That wraps it up for us tonight. In 2026, our first new show under our new banner of This Week in Latter Days. So Kurt sent me a text this week. We're picking up traffic with our new name.
We are.
Our downloads are up. So
okay, guess.
So if
He knew what he was doing.
Anybody who is a new listener and has picked our podcast up in 2026, first of all, thank you very much. We so appreciate your support and your listening to us, and we hope that you have enjoyed what you've heard tonight. And we hope that you continue to be a podcast listener or watch us on YouTube. Also, we have many a social media channel. We've got our Facebook page. Kurt is now, Kurt or his team, I'm not sure who, is actively managing our Instagram page. As I mentioned earlier, we're doing some short clips that get thrown up on both of those sites in addition to news stories. So we are trying to level up here at This Week in Latter Days for 2026. Bring you more content, bring you better quality content, and just give you a product that we hope you really enjoy. So thank you for joining us.